Hey everybody, it's your GM Griff here, and I just want to thank you listeners for sticking with us for 2 whole books of this AP. I'm overjoyed that we've made it to this point, and if you're listening to this and you've listened to everything before this, you're on that journey with us. We're in book 3 now, and I couldn't be happier. Everybody, these characters, this group, the role play that's happened so far and the story that we're telling together is one of my favorite things that I've done. I mean, period. But especially in my 20s. I continue to be impressed by the group that I play with and by the story that they continue to tell. I just want to say thanks so much for sticking with us and for enjoying what we put out and for giving us feedback and talking to us and being a part of the carrying crowd. It means the world to us. Seriously, guys, making it this far is a huge accomplishment for us, and we're just so happy to continue telling this story, continue giving you guys this content. I genuinely hope you're enjoying it. Here's to book 3. I'm so fucking excited, guys. Here's episode 81, The Name of the Father.
Do you like liquor and things that go boo? Then buckle up, listener, 'cause this one's for you. Prepare yourself for the Hideous Laughter Podcast.
Hey everybody, and welcome back to the Hideous Laughter Podcast, episode 81. Also, welcome to book 3.
Yay! Welcome, guys.
I expected somebody to join me on that one.
I felt like I didn't have to cheer.
So sad.
like I would have cheered with you, Steve, but like I feel like you as players need to come together for that, and just God, you drop the ball every time. It wouldn't be the Hideous Laughter Podcast if you guys didn't continuously disappoint. But with that...
Okay.
Well, you sound disappointed, Brooks. What are you drinking, buddy?
Ooh. Thanks, Griff. I'm drinking a Night Method, an espresso milk stout.
Ooh.
From Wolf's Ridge.
You read that? You read that as if you haven't had beers from Wolf's Ridge before. Wolf's Ridge.
Yes.
What an interesting brewery name.
Yes. It's obviously one of our favorite breweries, but it's very good.
Awesome. Haley, what you drinking?
I am drinking a Current Earth, which is a cider with hops.
What do you think about ciders with hops? Like, what's the purpose of the hops in a cider? Just to make it more like beer?
No, because I like the hop flavor. Like it makes a cider that is normally extremely sweet have like a floral component. And it's usually drier and more floral than it is like, here's some sickly sweet syrup.
Well, speaking of the HLP's floral component, Steve.
Heyo!
What you drinking, buddy?
All right. Sweet as a flower. I am drinking a Hams to celebrate the introduction to book 3. This is going to be a Team Slurp episode, considering that everybody just survived our big encounter. So, Team No Slurp, sorry.
Why do you have to say that so sassy?
Sorry. Sorry you have bad taste.
That slurp also was so whack.
Really is.
It's been a while since you've done one, so I think you're out of practice.
Yeah, I just picked up a 30 rack of Hams for my apartment, so I'll practice this weekend.
Practice over the weekend. That's a good call. Yeah. I mean, the listeners expect nothing but the best, and I think you just disappointed them.
Well, I'm starting the bar really low for 3, and by the time Matumbe and I get to the end of book 3, both of us get to the end of book 3, I'll get the slurp back where it needs to be.
Okay.
Hopeful.
Well, speaking of disappointing, hi, it's me, Griff. I know I didn't kill anybody last 2 episodes. I'm disappointed in myself as well. But we cut it pretty close.
Oh, I'm sorry. I don't want to interrupt here, but I'm going to anyway. We need one of those boards. It's been X amount of days since a PC death, like a
Yes.
workplace accident board.
That'd be
Oh, man.
amazing. It's been 7 episodes since a PC death.
That
Every time you get done with an episode, you just sadly walk over, put another.
But erase it.
Yeah.
Next number.
well, I don't know. I think that sets the expectation that I guess one way or the other, Griffin's shooting for 0 and we're shooting for a high number.
Well, we'll see how the HOP bonus gets paid out, depending on where that number lands.
Ooh, our fiscal year just did end at the HOP, so we're seeing if comps get paid out.
Oh boy. So, Emily, The Last of Us, the patron beverage drinker. What you drinking?
Last time I was on the poll, I complained an awful lot because there was a very delicious sounding drink that was on my poll. It was the White Claw Margarita Spritzer. And the patrons came through for me because that's what I'm drinking this week. It was recommended by Bipolar Pop-Tart. It's White Claw, tequila, simple syrup, and lime. It tastes delicious.
Wow. So, y'all heard it here. I mean, all you got to do is bitch and moan, and the next drink you get will be a good one. Apparently, I've yet to have that happen. I think I've been I've been bitching since episode 50 about the grandma's ashtray to no avail.
You just must not be doing it hard enough.
Well, I think since we changed to the new system, you can kind of shot call one of the drinks that's on there that you like, and if you are late in the order than early in the order, sometimes you fish your wish. I think that's what happened here. Before we do a roll, in celebration of book 3, I need everybody to take a hero card
Yeah.
for making it through. If one of your characters had died, you would not get a hero card.
Jeez.
Oh.
You get an anti-hero card.
Griffin, was that enough celebration for you? I tried to up the game there.
Yeah, proud of you. Proud of you. You're making
Yeah.
progress. Every day we get a little bit closer to being good. It's just baby steps, like cheer it as a group, or, you know, I think we usually have it on lock when Steve makes us all say a drink at the same time.
Oh, yeah, we nail that.
Mainly because
Yeah,
that's
and
like
it's,
as
like,
annoying as
Kind
it
of
possibly could
also
be.
sad, though.
It is kind of sad, but
Boy.
the ethics and compliance department demands it.
Boy, how depressing that we reigned in the new year by everyone cheering Baja Blast
Baja Blast.
together.
All right, take one and pass it down.
Okay, I'm pulling first. Oh, just like Mitume, a wise old owl.
Except intelligence is your key
Yeah,
stat.
it's true. My wisdom's a 10. But that is a neutral card. And it's a owl holding a needle or something. That's pretty cool.
You know, it's been a while since we've had an evil hero card.
Yeah.
I keep shuffling it, and, you know, I feel like I haven't had to roll disadvantage in a while.
All right. Well, I will go next.
Oh, nice one, Brooks.
Oh, man. I got the joke. A giant with pierced nipples and a small bard in front of it. And it's laughing its head off. So,
What type of card is it?
That's a good one.
It's a good card.
aw, yeah.
Unlike Brooks's jokes, that joke is good.
Oof.
Well, I guess I will hand it over to Haley now.
Oh, sorry, buddy. I thought we could all jab each other a little from now again.
But it's always funnier if I say it a second time.
No, it's not. I got the Winged Serpent.
What type of card is that?
It's a good card.
Really?
Whoa.
I wouldn't think of that as good, but
It's like a rainbow serpent. It looks very pleasant.
okay, that's fine. Looks can be deceiving, though, so you never know.
Nice.
I got the Foreign Trader, which is a neutral card.
Jesus, we are on the longest streak of no evil cards.
Wow.
Nice.
Throw those in the trash. I'll buy a new set once this is all the way done.
I don't know. I think I really like the giant with pierced nipples and 2 heads.
Is that your next character? If I kill Ick?
A foreign trader has already been done, I guess. So Makes sense.
Makes sense that
Yeah.
you played the joke. All right, so let's get a roll going. Everybody besides Emily.
And I will be using an inspiration to add a D6 to this roll.
You do not have these skills.
All right.
Actually, I think that's fair. If you use 2 of your inspirations for the day from Matumbe, which the day can span multiple episodes, you can go ahead and add a D6 to your drink pull roll.
All right. Well, I'm not going to do that. I am. It's a tweener. I got a 9.
Nice. Very average of you.
Yeah.
I got 15.
Nice. I got a 16.
Uh-oh.
I got an 18.
Oh, got me.
You drinking, Steve?
All right. Well, I'm not going to fish for it. Fuck my day up, guys.
Fuck my day up. I don't know if there's anything on there that can fuck your day up.
They're all pretty good. We'll see what the next one is, though. Maybe the new one will be bad.
See, it's good that we instituted this policy because then we started from the beginning of when drinks were being suggested, and that was back when people were actually nice to us. So, later, like midway through book 3, I think we're going to be finding some real turds on that.
Yeah, we're gonna be in the dog days of summer.
The dog days of summer, the doldrums.
I think there's one that someone suggested that included mustard in it.
Oh, fuck.
What in the
hell
fuck?
yeah.
No.
What's wrong with you, patrons?
They're just
So-
looking out for us.
So I did celebrate book 2 in my own little way today. Right before we had our sesh, I went down to the tattoo parlor, got myself a Whispering Tyrant tattoo.
And spoiled the big boss at the end of this.
Well, I mean, you... Tyrant's,
I'm looking at him right now.
Tyrant's Grasp is still a book. Or still an AP, so I don't know.
It's pretty.
Yeah, it was pretty fun. It's pretty exciting.
It seriously looks amazing, though.
Well, thank you.
And it tastes even better.
Yeah, I know. I mean, I was surprised. I was like, this is pretty fresh, Brooks. You sure? You were into it, man. And that's okay. I fully support your kinks.
Thank you. Thank you.
But with that out of the way, time to get serious. We finished up the big finale of book 2. You guys defeated the Aberrant Promethean. You defeated Dr. Vivian Malice. And here you sit on the tallest point of the tower with the bond slave Thrall kind of thrumming behind you. And we see Matumbe and Eclipse in an embrace. Ikmer had just shot up to the platform, and Freya burst healed everybody. But you're pretty battered. You're broken, and you know that Dr. Viv isn't dead. This mad scientist you found at the top of the tallest tower that seemed to be in front of you at every turn has disappeared. What are you doing?
I mean, I'm gonna need, before I can move or function or anything, I'm gonna need some serious help from Freya.
With additional time on the platform after healing, knowing that Matumbe is at least stable for the moment, Freya walks up to Eclipse, pulls out the wand of lesser restoration that she got from Lyra. This'll help. And she starts using the wand.
Yeah, and she's probably halfway through, and Eclipse will just look her dead in the eye and say, "That bitch got away. I don't know where she went. She's gone." And I think that'll be about the last thing Eclipse says for a little bit as she heals.
It is true, though we put up a good fight. That has saw us leaving the tower, coming back, getting poisoned and getting bled nearly to death. Dr. Saloom disappeared into the wind. I do not know if she's coming back here or slipping away into the night. How is down below? The beast's brother. Is he dead?
You took good care of him. He fell. Crashed right to the floor.
Yeah, no big deal, I guess. Thank you very much. You middle-aged woman. Not old anymore, I guess.
That's an improvement, I suppose.
It's something.
And the beast, Larry, does he yet live?
Oh, I gotta check on him. But Matumbe, you might not want to look down. You know, 'cause the whole heights thing. But that's okay. I'll yell down for him.
He lost control for a second. But he seemed okay. He's the reason I'm here.
I see. I believed when he lost control is probably when Dr. Saloom got control of the machine again. I worry, though, if we leave this platform, she could reactivate the beast if she comes back. We could be right where we started and fighting our friends. I say we don't leave this platform until we have a decision what we are going to do with the machine.
Matumbe, do you think if I slashed through with my axe, it would do any harm to anyone besides the machine?
You can make a knowledge arcana if you want, Matumbe.
I will aid.
Do.
And I wholeheartedly aid.
With the 8, it's only coming up to a 22.
I rolled higher.
With the 22, it looks like this... I mean, this is a structure attached to the top of this building. It looks like it would be pretty hard to destroy. You don't necessarily think that destroying it would harm the beast, but you don't really know enough about the ramifications of it. You think the easiest way to destroy it, as you're kind of now looking over it outside of the heat of combat, is it's got these tanks and like tubes of this purple fluid. You think you could easily sever some of the tubes and it probably wouldn't function as normal.
I think this purple fluid here is instrumental into the operation of the machine. Disconnecting the tubes, emptying the tanks. Larry should pull through from what I can tell.
Say no more. And even though Eclipse could probably just gently get rid of any of this stuff, she's going to take her axe and really just swing it over her head and kind of hit at the tubes, not caring about any other damage she might also be doing.
Okay, make a reflex save.
Reflex is not so hot for me. That would be a 7.
Yeah, with a 7, you get covered in this fluid, and it burns. You take 10 points of acid damage, and make a will save. Or, I'm sorry, fortitude.
When you roll poorly, I guess it doesn't matter. Is this against anything specific?
Not really.
13.
Okay, you're blind.
Haha, great!
Could have just disconnected them tubes.
There is no way in hell that at this point in time Eclipse would be thinking clearly to do that. So I stand by my choice, no matter how stupid.
Somebody care to make a heal check?
One of the few skills
You
that
just
Igmar
can't help
has.
yourself, can you? 18.
I got an 18 too.
Dirty 20.
Yeah, you guys all know. It doesn't look like it's permanent. Looks like you could eye wash Eclipse. She's probably gonna not be able to see for about 3 minutes, though.
Too bad we don't have create water.
But that would be creating seawater, and that would make it hurt more.
No, technically it's fresh water.
So, in my headcanon here, Eclipse is gonna hop on Matumbe's back and be a backpack, basically. So Matumbe travels around because he's much bigger than she is.
So here we go. Here we go again.
Eclipse, you hear in your head,
You need to stop fucking up. We're both in this body now, and you keep acting like a fool.
I mean, at what point am I in control or are you?
If you want to force me to take control, I can. Is that what you want? I do a better fucking job taking care of you than you do. I at least care about staying around.
Alright, well, at this point, I don't really care. I'm not in the headspace to deal with you and everything that's happening in my life. So, just deal with it.
Okay. Make a diplomacy check.
Let's see if I can roll above a fucking 4. 18.
Okay.
Not a horrible roll, actually.
The leper goes quiet. You can sense, though, he was about to take some influence.
Sounds about how my life's going right now.
With the machine unoperational, he's speaking to this crowd of his friends as with the clips hanging on to him with a piggy rack ride. It looks absolutely goofy. With the machine inoperational, I think it's time we head down and find this Mr. Karomak.
Definitely want to make sure that the beast is okay, too.
Yes, that too.
Well, Larry.
Hold on, Eclipse. I'm taking the ladder.
Okay, yeah. I believe at this point all of your fly has run out because you took the time to heal and destroy this, so, yeah, you can all make climb checks.
Awesome. Alright, well, Ikmir will go first. With a 15 on the die, total 16.
Yep. You make it.
Awesome.
I'm only going to make you roll once for this. Even though it's a couple 100 feet down.
Big ass ladder.
2 by 17 off the die, that's a 23.
You're good even with the clips on you. You're the only one that had a chance of failure.
Natural 20.
Get him out early. Yeah.
Freya does the, grab the 2 sides of the ladder and just, slide down. Super cool.
Nice.
She's a pro.
Yeah, Freya gets down so gracefully she has enough time to use stone cutting on the way down. So you make it to the Oculus and you see the beast has made it back down. Because last we heard from him, he pitched Freya up to the platform while he was kind of up above the Oculus. He's since climbed down. And he seems kind of distraught. He's talking at this adamantine bound, almost looks like a sarcophagus, but like a statue. You make it to the ground. Anyone can roll me a knowledge, history, or religion on what this thing is.
I can aid whatever Matumbe's highest is.
They're the same.
Okay.
I can aid if you do religion.
Religion it is.
Oh, never mind. I don't aid.
Oh god, the cleric doesn't aid the religion check.
I definitely aid.
23 total with the aid.
23 total. You know that this is a misery idol. Further, you know that it would be used in certain Cuthite worship, so it's meant to torture. You know its primary purpose is to kill, eventually, but it keeps a person basically upright and uncomfortable and without food and water for days on end.
Okay. So
I think this may be an indication of who the nefarious Dr. Saloom prays to at night.
does he see any obvious way to open it? Any latches or...
It looks sealed. It looks sealed by these adamantine bars, and that's kind of why the beast is frustrated and yelling at it, but he doesn't seem to be touching it.
Freya attempts to detect magic on it.
It's not magical.
I can't remember. It's been a long time. Can acid splash go through adamantine?
It works like hardness works, so adamantine has crazy hardness.
Okay.
Basically, you would half the damage of acid splash and then apply that to the hardness. If it beats the hardness, it would actually do damage to it.
That's okay. I was just thinking of the first time we tried to break in somewhere.
You do notice that the latch, the lock, doesn't appear to be adamantine. It's almost as if, similar to the trapdoor below, the bars were to keep these flesh golems from tampering with it.
So am I still blinded?
Yes. You could wait. You didn't say you waited upstairs, but you could have waited.
No, but the whole way down on the ladder, I'm just going to open my eyes to the rain.
Okay, so your iWatch stationing. Unfortunately, Lepidstat's pretty polluted, and it's all acid rain. Take another d6 of acid damage, and you're blind for another 6 minutes.
But, I mean, I was going to try to unlock this lock if we don't have keys or no one sees keys. And if I can't unlock it, I was going to have Ikmer bust it open.
I think you can easily wait for a minute and regain your vision. It probably took you guys a little bit of time, even though I only made you roll once to get down these 100-foot ladders.
14.
14 doesn't do it. It's not trapped at all, so it doesn't spring any traps or anything.
That's good, because I didn't even think about them.
Yeah.
Hold on, Eclipse. Let me try.
Freya touches Ikmer's back. Let Erastil be your guide and gives him Touch of Good.
Touch of Good. Explain that to me.
So as a standard action, Freya grants a sacred bonus on I'm guessing this is a skill check that you're doing, or an ability check. And it's a +3, and it just lasts for the 1 round. So it's like as he's going to swing.
Well, that would be an attack roll, but you can try and break it with a strength check. And
it also applies to attack rolls as well.
Perfect. You just said skill and ability checks, so I wasn't
sure.
And
also saving throws, but I assumed it wasn't a saving throw.
Gotcha. Yeah, so you could attack it with a tankard if you wanted to.
Sure. Yeah, just getting those 20s out early. Yeah, I critically hit a lock.
You crit the lock. Roll double damage. That's good. I mean, granted, you're bypassing the hardness, but...
God damn it. I would roll pretty good damage. That's 30 damage. Or not 30, excuse me. Just 20. But still, this lock.
Yeah, the lock breaks.
It fucking explodes.
Crit the lock. Good for you, bud.
Where was this shit last week?
Well, I mean,
he crit the Promethean to
yeah,
kill it.
That is true. He did crit at the end. I just feel so if we had more hits like that.
Well, they wouldn't be as special when I hit the lock.
I also didn't hear you confirm the critical. And I could have used my judicious force to add
use the judicious force now, yeah. Oh boy.
Man, I didn't realize this was gonna be...
I didn't realize this was all gonna be a lock combat, but like everybody roll for initiative. So you bust open the lock. You can then pry open the misery idol.
Ikmer would be pry his fingers in between the little gap, and then I'm sure this thing is extremely heavy, so he'll put his weight into it and push it open.
Yep. He pushes it open, and immediately out falls this lanky, white-haired, clearly elderly man in a lab coat, and he pretty much falls onto you, Ikmer. He, you could lay him out. You'd have to make a heal check to see what's going on.
Oh, hold on, it's gonna be okay. And he'll go down to one knee and then support his head and try to use some sort of like cushion for his head on the ground, but probably just ends up holding it awkwardly.
Freya kneels down to inspect him for wounds. 21.
He's gone unconscious. He's dying of starvation. You could likely throw like a channel his way to. He's taken like so much non-lethal damage from the starvation that it's turned to lethal, and he's dying.
Okay. Freya immediately channels positive energy, and as long as everyone is within 30 feet of her, you all get a bitter taste, like there's a little bit of medicine in your mouth, and you heal 10 points.
Oh, 10 points. How convenient. Thanks for healing my acid damage.
And she did one burst up at the tower, but everyone's still pretty far down, so she just continues to channel and channel.
And you can see the gauntness of this man kind of return to just the wrinkles of an old man, and he coughs to life. Oh, who are you?
Well, we're hoping that you could tell us who you were as well. We kind of walked into assuming your house.
Where am I? That woman... oh, my head. What?
Allow me to step in here. It is a pleasure to meet your acquaintance. I'm assuming Mr. Keromak?
Yes, Alpon Kermak.
Alpan Keromak. My name is Matumbe. My friend who asked you who you were is a good friend of mine. He is Ikma. I am also joined by my friend Eclipse and Freya.
What are you doing in my tower?
We were invited here by a creation of yours, if you would believe it.
My boy.
Your boy Larry.
Well,
Larry, that is not the
that's the
name
one.
I've heard him called.
He made a friend, a very young and a very special friend, who gave him such a name.
And he would sit up slightly on one of his elbows, and now that he can see past the four of you, he'd look across the room, and Larry's kind of there, keeping his distance, with his head kind of downturned.
Way would help too. We just met him though.
Oh, you mean mine homunculus Vaxwood?
Oh yeah.
Yes, he is, he's kept me alive all these days. I wouldn't be here without him.
well, we're certainly very grateful of that. And I have to say, Larry has been so strong and such a great friend.
That is good to hear, because Whispering Way, the ones who trapped me in here with that terrible doctor, they controlled my boy. They were doing things with him that I only have some theories.
We are also in pursuit of this nefarious cult, and you may rest assured, at least for now, Alpan, the despicable Dr. Saloom has been vanquished from your Schloss. I cannot guarantee she won't return, but for now she has been defeated and driven away.
Vanquished is quite the strong term though. She just up and disappeared and walked away from us.
A powerful woman, that. She and her cronies took control of this place.
Who was she with? We did not encounter anybody like her here.
She was working for the Whispering Way. That
Well-
I'm 100% sure about.
Well, I do know for sure that they controlled Larry so that he stole the sea sausage effigy.
Ah, yes, I know about this. But I do not know why. You see, by all accounts, the sea sage effigy is not a very powerful item. It's just... it's just a molded piece of stone. It's nothing that I would think that anyone would find useful. It was just a relic. I don't even think it was magical in any way.
Regardless of magic, do you believe it had any sort of social, political, or I don't know, some sort of significance to groups that would be interested in it?
Not that I've ever heard of, but I was not studying it. I will say this. I know that was their purpose for controlling the beast, and then, the entirety of the cult, besides Dr. Saloom, who was interested in my work, the rest of them left. She stayed behind, and, well, I believe she wanted my death, you see. Her and I could have worked on things together, but she had such a malicious intent that she wanted to see how long I would live in this torture device. I was too weak after battling her associates to fend her off.
I do have another thing, Mr. Karamark.
Yes, boy.
Did you happen to have another son?
Oh, I never called him my son. Now you're calling the beast Larry, yes. Larry always saw him as a brother because, well, they were the only intelligent creations I had made. But that was an experiment gone wrong. I could not have imagined how dangerous it would be. I tried to lock it away. Again, these things that you create, well, I brought it life. I did not feel that I should kill it, but study it and learn from it and figure out what went wrong. You see, I was never able to recreate what I had made in Larry. A creation brought to life, and, well, you know him now. It seems. He seems friendly with you. He has a soul. I was never able to make that again, and when I made who he calls his brother, I could not comprehend how dangerous it would be. So I locked him away. Maybe that was a mistake.
Well, to me, a life is a life, and he was definitely set free by this Dr. Saloom, and, well, we had to fight him to the death. And so, he's no longer living, and so I guess with this, maybe you can study him in other ways that are also helpful, but I guess it's nice to hear that you tried to learn from it, but locking him up doesn't sound fun either. He was still alive, you know. But I understand, he was kind of powerful.
You do have some wisdom, boy, but a creature like that, making it and trapping it before it could do any harm to the surrounding villages, to Lepidstadt itself, was my utmost priority, while still being able to study it. And I could tell that it did not have the same complexities as my son. And so it made me feel okay, like keeping one of the creatures in the rest of mein Schloss. It was not... They were taken care of, but it didn't feel like it was keeping a sentient being locked up. He was mad when he was made.
I guess, and, well, I wasn't around him except at the very end, so I wouldn't know, and I couldn't imagine what it would be like, so I guess, and I'll trust you on this.
Come back to the Whispering Way who are here. Did they have a leader? I can't imagine that if they all left, Dr. Saloom was the one who led them in here. People don't abandon their leaders, do they?
That is where I think you're wrong, Mr. Matumbe. While Miss Saloom may not have been the leader of the entire cult, I do think that she was the leader of those that came in and enslaved the beast and destroyed my lab and, well, quite frankly, made this a death trap. This, mein Schloss was not such a treacherous place before she and her goons came. But I think that maybe she stayed to analyze my research, and the rest of them went to meet up with the their true leader.
If this is true that she sent her followers away, do you have any idea where she sent them?
Waxwood overheard them talking, and he's very tricky, very sneaky. You've met Waxwood, right?
He was instrumental in the planning of this combat.
He is one of my favorite creations, but he and I share a telepathic bond, and so when he overheard them, so did I. They are headed to the Shadowwood.
Oh.
I don't know why. I don't know what they could be seeking there, or why they would... You see, they took the Sea Sage effigy with them.
Forgive me. You may be able to tell, but I am a stranger in these lands. Where would I find this Shutterwood?
Well, it is nearby. It stretches for much of Ustalav. But there is a pass that I have used, and I imagine that the Whispering Way would have... Well, is the easiest way to traverse the forest from here. It is about a mile from here. The Silent Way. It leads through the forest and straight to a place called Askanor Lodge. It's kind of a invitation-only hunting resort for, well, Ustala's wealthy people. Some of the aristocrats.
Are you serious? Is this a human hunting thing? Sorry, that was all out of character. I just...
Just drew your own conclusions there.
Yes, because every other horror movie is like, oh yeah, the very wealthy only go to this hunting lodge. It's very, very exclusive. Only very, very wealthy.
Well, who knows, Haley? I certainly don't. I haven't read ahead.
That's bullshit, but okay.
What's book 3? I'm just stalling on book 2.
We're gonna stretch
We'll be
this
here for
out.
a couple more. I'm gonna take this concluding the adventure paragraph and just run with it for a couple more eps.
Matumbe, I think no matter what, if we go through the Shudderwood, we're gonna... I know it's close by, but we're gonna want to plan and think ahead. I don't think it'll be unusual for us to need to use this dagger that we got from our carnival friends. And Eclipse would pull out the humanoid shapeshifter Bane dagger, just as to make a point.
I think you make a good point, Eclipse. We have no idea what could be in these woods. Foul creatures and foul beasts. I would keep that handy and keep in mind. There's also a ravenous horde of the undead who has disappeared into the trees not too far from here. We must be on our guard for them as well.
I'd certainly say that is quite a point.
I would, of course, for this information, appreciate your discretion in the matters of what I do up here. I still hold an esteemed position in Ustalav, even though I have given up my title as Count.
I cannot stress this enough. No one is going to come check up on you.
So, there... Well, it might be a little bit hard to get to your entrance house, or... There was a spot that... Well, we found a giant hole in your floor, and...
there was no hole in my floor when I was locked up here.
Yeah, we found it like that, and it was awful. I'll make a bluff check.
Just sits back. This is 18 on the die.
Dude, no!
He's a level 13 alchemist.
Alright,
got you, buddy.
it's possible. No, it's
Blame
possible.
it on Lyra. Blame it on Lyra.
This dead lady.
If orcs could blush, that's a 3 on the die.
Oh,
Half orcs, I guess. But
You've got me out of a very dire situation, my boy. If you caused a bit of damage along the way, I intend to clean things up.
thank you. Yeah.
Look, you will be needing entrance into this place. This Askenor Lodge. Now, I don't know that that's where the Whispering Way have gone, but it seems the most likely place in the forest. I don't know what else they would be doing.
Well, how valuable exactly do you think our silence of what you're doing up here is? Would it be worth for entrances into this hunting lodge and maybe some more?
Of course you could. I would write you letters of introduction to the lodge, so that you can at least have a foot in the door when you approach, and you should be granted admission because I am still in name Ustalavic royalty.
So what exactly goes on at the lodge? How should we act to blend in?
You won't blend in there. Many of the people there know each other, and realistically, you might be something of a curiosity. They don't see many true adventurers there. I highly doubt you will be able to blend in, but what I can tell you is that many of the people there use it as, well, an excuse to say they went out into the wild and had some sort of adventure, but realistically, Askenor Lodge they pamper their guests. It's not very... Their guests are never in danger.
It's glamping.
I love this.
I'm pretty sure at this point my own headcanon is this is glamping with the side of human hunting.
I'm pretty sure it's not human hunting.
Well,
I
it's
don't
some
like where it's
sort of
going.
humanoid hunting.
Humanoid
Yeah.
subset shape changer hunting.
Yes.
So you're thinking?
You know, Mr. Karamark, you have a lot of adamantine around. You know, I can't imagine you don't have some sort of adamantine to defend yourself, especially if you've had creatures that are, well, as dangerous as you create, do you not?
No, I defend myself in other ways. The adamantine is merely to, well, keep my creations in certain areas, so they won't run amok.
Well, my dwarven friend here really wants some, and I can tell I don't think she's gonna leave without it.
I tell you what, you can get much finer adamantine from a real smith. So I'll tell you this: if you remain quiet on this matter and you leave my lab in peace, even though this diabolical woman has left her mark on it, I will give you, as a group, 6,000 gold to remain quiet and also to fund some adamantine if you don't take mine.
And the machine to control Larry, whatever it is you call that thing, if I ever hear about you using that to control him for any ways other than what he wants, we'll be back. And
Yes,
good.
that's completely understandable. And he would motion to Matumbe. And he'd kind of beckon with a hand, like to bend down, and
I don't think they can hear us now.
Okay, Batman.
What say you?
where is she? My friend, that was never created to control the beast out of his free will. Have you seen him in combat? He enters these states of rage that are dangerous. It was merely used to control him during these times, so that he didn't run amok.
Are you meaning to tell me, outside of combat and imminent physical harm, the beast would devolve into some slavering monster?
This is not what I believe, but if villagers, and you know the villagers in Lepidstadt, if they were to see him as something different, sometimes pitchforks and torches, they would use these things to run him out of town. This would trigger him into a rage.
I see. This machine is not to control the beast per se, it is to protect him and those around him. I have seen what he can do. I do not believe a mob merely armed with pitchforks and common torches could do much damage to the beast.
It is not as much the damage as it is he has not been accepted by society his entire life. It is that pent-up anger that when things do not go his way, I fear that, well, he could pose a huge threat. That's why I made this device. I do not use it. My son does not visit me so often. hardly even have seen him in the past year. This is not for me to control him. It's to keep the people of Lepidstadt safe in case.
And Matumbe nods his head slowly. You can see that his eye line breaks away from Albin, looking up to the heavens, because, you know, when you're pondering something really deeply, you look off, and he's thinking.
If you swear to me now that the machine stays operational to save lives and prevent unnecessary death, then the machine stays operational. However, like my friend said, if you overrule the beast, take away his free will, cause him to commit harm to others, it is not just Ikma who will be coming back for you. I believe all four of us, will have a say in the matter.
I will pose the same thing to you. If you think my son has changed so much that this is not necessary, well then destroy it. I have no intention of controlling my son. He has done as he would for years. He does not live here. He visits sparingly.
Yeah.
At this point, you would realize that, like, Karamark probably has no idea about, like, the trial or any of that stuff.
That's what I was just thinking, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think it would surprise you the social bounds and leaps that your creation you call a beast, but we call Larry, has made over the last couple weeks. There's more of us in him than there is stitches and dead flesh. I believe that the machine is unnecessary if he can control himself. And we've seen over the past week or so that this is true. He can.
Alright then. I trust you, but just know that if something were to happen, it will be no fault of mine that danger befalls the citizens of this country. Stories have been told about my son, and I do not believe they are true either. You know, he talks to me, and he is gentle, and he is kind. But I have known him to enter these rages. You say he has controlled them. I believe you, but this will be on you if I destroy this thing.
I bear every single sin I have committed on my soul, and will atone for every single one of them at the end of my days. If this mistake is another sin, the lady will judge me accordingly. I bear full responsibility for my words and my actions.
Then I will have it destroyed.
Timber gives him a fist bump.
So what's happening now? You've gotten some information from Karamark. You have 6,000 gold. He's instructed, or he says, you know, that he's going to instruct his banker in Lepidstadt to provide it to you. So I imagine he just says he'll have, like, Embreth give it to you, since she's connected in that way.
So can you talk to me about logistics for a minute? Because I was trying to put it together while he was talking, but I don't know. Maybe I didn't quite understand it.
Sure.
So the Shutterwood entrance is only a mile from where we currently are.
Yeah, from Schloss Cromark.
Okay. So then, logistically, does it make sense that we would go back to town and then come back to the entrance, or no? Like, I guess I'm trying to understand the vibe here.
5 check.
Yep. Group check.
I personally, would like to, so that we can see the Sarni or Jarni. Zarni, yeah.
I was gonna say, you guys have a lot of loose ends.
Yeah.
Lepidstadt.
Just need to check in with them. I don't know. We can be friends again with Elvis or whatever his name is. The sea cucumber.
Oh, Adivian?
Adivian, yeah.
Elvis?
Elvis.
Hey, baby. What a trial you just put on.
Alright.
Come here, little mama.
Yeah, no, I'm fine with going to Lepidstadt. I guess I was trying to understand from the way that we were all talking and the way he was talking, is this something like, we've gotta go, or is this a, no, we can leave in, like, I don't know, a week?
You're chasing the Whispering Way at this point. You have no idea what they're up to. You don't know if they've even gone to Ascanor Lodge. That's your only lead. If they're planning something with the Sea Sage effigy, I think they're weeks ahead of you.
So we have time, just probably not to dilly-dally.
You probably would want to be, like, going in a day. You'd want to go back, do your shit in Lepidstadt, and then probably continue on with this journey, if you actually intend to catch them.
I'm cool with that.
Makes sense. Agreed.
Friends, do you mind if I join you on your journey back? I've been thinking and listening from here, and I would like to join with the Crooked Kin. I think that, well, they were nice to me, and you recommended it, and you're my best friends. I think that would be a better place for me than here.
Absolutely. I couldn't think of anything better, Larry.
Well, then I can at least help us get back through here. Father, this is the last time I'm going to save you. I don't belong here anymore. I've finally made friends, and they treat me like a person. I'm going to go with them. And I think Alpine shakily gets to his feet, and he hugs his creation for probably one of the few times, and he just nods at him.
Freya's looks right at Karamark and tries to make eye contact with him. Bringing life into this world is no easy task. But it's even harder to raise them. Take care with the next ones.
He would motion to the bell jar that's next to his, basically that misery idol was next to that bell jar with a woman in it. I was only trying to find a way to bring her back. This was my wife.
Oh, he's Mr. Freeze!
And she was carrying our child. It had been too long. I could not bring her back with divine magic, so I accidentally created this life in an attempt to find a way to bring them back, make my family whole again. How does Freya feel hearing that?
Freya has pretty dark skin, but after hearing that and seeing the woman in the bell jar, she goes very pale. That strikes a nerve with her. She responds back, "Losing a child's enough to make you go mad. And a spouse on top of that. There's nothing worse."
I see now that, well, it seems you, the four of you, and have done a better job making my creation integrate with society than I ever did. Son, I am so sorry for not taking the time that I should have. I was preoccupied, and quite frankly, you did not deserve that from me. And this time, Larry just nods and doesn't respond.
So I guess it's time to say goodbye.
So you head away from the Schloss. Larry provides a better way than going through. I can easily carry one of you at a time down the cliffside. We can get to the riverbed below, and I know a way through the swamp that will get us pretty close to town.
Better safe than sorry. Lead the way.
So you guys would cross the bridge back to the multiple tower drowned menagerie. Careful to avoid the basilisk room. You make your way through that building into the cliff that you remember having to cross. Larry grabs Ikmer first. "Come here, buddy. I'll get you down." And he'd huck Ikmer, kind of like Eclipse was on Matumbe. And it looks almost similarly proportioned. And easily climb you down the cliff to something of it's like a riverbed, but you know when you are on the river and sometimes you find those little beaches, those rocky shores.
Mm-hmm.
If you ever go canoeing, it's an area like that, and it's kind of at the base of this cliff. And he leaves you there. He climbs back up. He grabs Matumbe next, brings him down. He climbs back up, grabs Eclipse, brings her down, and then finally climbs back up, grabs Freya, pitches her like a softball, and brings her down. From there, he'd say, "Follow me, I know the shallowest part." And you would kind of wrap around the cliff to an easily fordable section of the river and into the swamp. And he would lead you back to kind of the path that you remember Matumbe and Ikmer being like that shortcut path.
Mm-hmm. And we left the Zarni's horses somewhere in that swamp. So maybe we find them.
If you tied them up, it's only been a day.
Oh.
So.
Then yeah, we find them.
Sure, you tied them up.
I mean, I'll track them.
No, it's fine. It's fine. All right. But you only have 2 horses, so, I mean, I imagine you guys are taking the long way home. And again, the horses don't really travel too much faster than you guys in this swampy terrain, so.
Yeah. And I'm sure this is one of the first times we've been able to walk at a comfortable pace in a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you guys make it back to Lepidstadt unharmed. And it's night now. Probably close to the middle of the night because you've walked. And as you exit the swamp, we fade back in, and further down the river, and we fade back into the swamp. Further down the river this time than when you guys crossed. And we see Dr. Vivian Malice exit the river and plod heavily through the swampy earth. You notice that where her head was previously caved in by Matumbe's book has already healed. She looks almost as if she did when you first encountered her. And she thinks to herself,
I should return to Orin to alert him of these intruders. They may have learned more about the way than we desire. They could pose a threat to our plans.
And as we fade back to our party, I need everybody to finish their drinks, because we'll see you next week.
Oh, man. Coffee, cocoa, creamy. I knew it.
What?